We've all heard the ultimate medical horror story. You cross a certain line with alcohol, and your liver is permanently destroyed. For decades, the message has been clear. Severe liver scarring is a life sentence. But what if the medical textbooks were wrong? What if the damage you thought was completely irreversible actually isn't?
Historically, advanced stages of alcohol-associated liver disease, like bridging fibrosis and established cirrhosis, were considered absolute end-stage conditions. But a massive paradigm shift in modern hepatology has proven otherwise. Your liver retains an extraordinary intrinsic biological mandate to restore its functional capacity and physically rebuild its architecture, even from the brink of failure.
Welcome back to BodyWise. Today, we are taking you on a journey inside the human body to watch exactly how this incredible organ rebuilds itself. We are going to give you the exact chronological timeline of healing, the fascinating science of how your cells fight back, and the specific, science-backed protocols to speed up your own recovery. If you or someone you love wants to know exactly what happens when you finally put the glass down, do not click away. The rebuilding starts now. To really understand this, let's introduce you to Alex. Alex is a 40-something American who loves unwinding with a few heavy pours of bourbon every night. Alex feels totally fine. Maybe a little sluggish in the mornings, maybe carrying a little extra weight, but nothing crazy.
And that, Laura, is the trap. The clinical trajectory of alcohol-associated liver disease is characteristically silent. It is incredibly insidious, progressing for 10 years or more without any obvious symptoms. Patients like Alex frequently elude detection in primary care settings because they simply don't feel sick until the disease has advanced to a dangerous stage.
Right, so let's visualize what is happening inside Alex. Think of Alex's liver as the ultimate 24/7 metropolitan factory. It's a combination of a fulfillment center, a chemical refinery, and a waste disposal unit. Under normal circumstances, it runs perfectly. Nutrients come in, toxins get filtered out, and energy is shipped to the rest of the body. But pouring heavy amounts of alcohol into this factory every single day fundamentally changes the operation.
Exactly. It is estimated that 90% to 95% of heavy alcohol consumers develop hepatic steatosis, commonly known as fatty liver. Alex almost certainly has it, but just doesn't know it yet.
So, Dr. Mark, let's zoom into Alex's liver factory right after a few drinks. What exactly is going wrong on the factory floor? Why is the system breaking down?
When ethanol hits the factory floor, the workers, which are specific enzymes primarily called alcohol dehydrogenase and cytochrome P4502E1, rush to break it down. But the biochemical process of breaking down ethanol inherently produces massive amounts of reactive oxygen species, or ROS.
Okay, so these ROS, they are basically like sparks flying off the overworked machinery, setting microscopic fires all over the factory floor?
That is a perfect way to look at it. This state of unmitigated oxidative stress causes direct cytotoxicity. It literally burns through the hepatocyte cell membranes and damages their DNA. At the same time, the alcohol drastically alters the liver's chemical redox state. This paralyzes the factory's conveyor belts. The liver can no longer oxidize or export fat, resulting in the massive accumulation of triglycerides inside the cells. The inventory is piling up, and the shipping department is frozen.
But the real danger isn't just the fat or the fires, is it? It's how the factory tries to fix the fires.
Precisely. Enter the hepatic stellate cells. Normally, these cells peacefully sleep in the background, storing vitamin A. But when the inflammatory alarms sound, these stellate cells wake up in a panic. They transform into myofibroblasts and start frantically synthesizing and depositing excessive extracellular matrix proteins. essentially pouring biological concrete all over the factory to stop the structure from collapsing.
And this concrete replaces the healthy tissue. It suffocates the city's roads, blocks the delivery trucks, and completely distorts the architecture of the liver, leading to cirrhosis.
Yes, and here is the most shocking part that research has recently uncovered. This severe alcohol-induced inflammation fundamentally disrupts RNA splicing, the factory's blueprint reading process. The liver cells are effectively suspended in a cellular limbo.
Wait, so even if Alex stops drinking right this second, the factory manager is paralyzed?
Correct. The liver cannot immediately regenerate the second the alcohol stops, because its intracellular machinery is broken by these genetic translation errors. The factory has to fix its blueprints before it can fix its walls.
Okay, this sounds incredibly bleak. But let's say Alex decides enough is enough. Complete, sustained abstinence. No more alcohol enters the factory. How does the body actually pull itself out of this limbo? Dr. Mark, walk us through the timeline. What happens in the first few days?
The healing unfolds across 4 distinct chronological phases. Phase 1 is acute detoxification, happening in the first 24 to 72 hours. The primary focus is putting out the fires. The liver ceases the active generation of those toxic, reactive oxygen species.
So the sparks stop flying. What happens in the first week?
By days 3 to 7, the factory manager comes out of limbo. The impaired protein trafficking pathways and crucial intracellular organelles, like the Golgi apparatus, completely normalize their function. The blueprint readers are back online and ready to work.
That brings us to weeks 2 through 4. I imagine this is when the cleanup crew arrives?
Exactly. Phase 2 kicks in. The conveyor belts restart. Normal mitochondrial fatty acid oxidation is restored, meaning the liver rapidly mobilizes and clears all that hoarded fat.
Which leads us to the 30-day mark. Hitting day 30 is a monumental biological achievement, right?
Absolutely. For the 90% to 95% of people with fatty liver disease, hepatic steatosis is typically reduced by at least 25% by day 30. Furthermore, inflammatory liver enzymes like ALT and GGT plummet by up to 28.6%. The active destruction stops.
But what about the concrete? The people with severe scarring and cirrhosis? Does the concrete just stay there forever?
That was the old belief. But in phase 3 and 4, which spans months to years of sustained sobriety, the liver deploys specific enzymes called matrix metalloproteinases. Think of these as biological jackhammers. They slowly dissolve portions of the cross-linked cirrhotic scar tissue, allowing remnant healthy cells to grow and replace the lost functional mass. The concrete is actually chipped away.
Okay, so the body wants to heal. But rebuilding a factory takes an incredible amount of energy and supplies. Dr. Mark, if Alex wants to actively speed up this massive regenerative timeline, what is the exact protocol? Obviously, step 1 is 0 alcohol. What is step 2?
Step 2 is aggressive nutritional management. Severe liver disease plunges the body into a hypercatabolic state. It drastically alters your basal metabolic rate, increasing energy expenditure by up to 60%. Because the damaged liver can't store energy properly, the body rapidly cannibalizes its own muscle tissue for fuel, leading to severe muscle wasting.
To stop your body from eating its own muscles, you need fuel. Clinical guidelines recommend a high targeted protein intake, specifically 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day.
Yes, and particularly branched-chain amino acids, along with smaller, frequent meals to maintain stable glycemic control. We can also introduce phytotherapy. Silymarin, an active compound extracted from milk thistle, acts as a highly aggressive free radical scavenger. It drastically reduces cell toxicity by neutralizing the oxidative stress left behind by the alcohol, buying the liver time to regenerate.
And here is a protocol that totally blew my mind. Exercise. Historically, patients with advanced liver issues were told to just rest in bed. But modern science says the exact opposite. Why?
Because skeletal muscle acts as a massive endocrine organ. When you exercise, your muscles secrete bioactive proteins into the bloodstream known as myokines. These exercise-induced myokines act like a special ops team. They travel straight to the liver and actively suppress chronic systemic inflammation.
And they do something even crazier for the scar tissue, don't they?
They do. In highly fibrotic tissue where the concrete scars have choked off the blood supply, these myokines actively promote angiogenesis. They stimulate the formation of brand new, healthy blood vessels, finally delivering critical oxygen and nutrients back to the suffocating liver cells.
So what does all of this mean for you, or the person you love who is struggling? It means the damage isn't the end of the story. A landmark study from the Medical University of Vienna definitively proved that abstaining from alcohol leads to a massive, quantifiable reduction in portal pressure.
Patients who previously suffered from severe, life-threatening complications of decompensated cirrhosis have achieved complete clinical recompensation. Their symptoms completely resolved purely through sustained abstinence. Removing the toxin allows the liver to heal to the extent that countless patients are actually removed from transplant waiting lists.
The human liver is endowed with a phenomenal, highly intricate capacity for cellular regeneration. Your body is not a machine that just breaks and stays broken forever. It is a dynamic, living system that is desperate to heal itself. It just requires you to stop the damage and give it the supplies it needs to rebuild. The factory can be rebuilt. It just needs time. If this deep dive changed how you view your body, hit that subscribe button right now. Here at BodyWise, we break down the complex science so you can take ultimate control of your health. Drop a comment below. What is one step you are taking today to support your body's recovery? Thank you to Dr. Mark for the brilliant clinical insights. Stay BodyWise, and we'll see you in the next video.